This episode is sponsored by football's ultimate survival game. Let's see who's the final one standing. Wagwan people, and welcome along to another edition of Fourever Arsenal. I want to say happy Easter going out to everybody. We are recording this on Easter Sunday, so happy Easter to everybody who celebrates. Big up to you, Curtis. Happy Easter to you, Lee, and to you as well, Jack. That's about the only thing happy about it, because as you guys know, and everybody watching this knows, Arsenal are out of the FA Cup. Big shock, giant killing, beaten by Southampton yesterday at St Mary's, and Arsenal are out. Had a chance to go to the semi-finals, which would have been another trip to Wembley, and we're out. And I don't know about you guys, like, funny enough, right? Obviously, me and Lee was at the game yesterday, and after the game, I felt annoyed, and I was like, it happens. You get knocked out of the FA Cup. It can happen. Giant killings can happen, stuff like that. But I don't know about you guys. I woke up this morning. I mean, after getting in, I mean, the wind, the weather was terrible yesterday. The wind was blowing the car all over the place. Got home, it's really windy. But I got home. Sorry, I woke up this morning. I was like, you know what? Why didn't them players just let us know that they couldn't be arsed yesterday? That, you know, they weren't going to turn up. Then maybe what I could have done, I could have stayed at home for the Easter. Instead of driving in all that high winds and going down there, and all of those fans that went there, and all people who made the effort to watch that on TV, maybe we could have done something else at Easter, because I really think about it. It looked to me like there were a lot of players there that were distracted. They had their eyes and were thinking about other things and not dealing about the game that was in front of them. They were thinking about Champions League games and leagues and things like that without focusing at the task at hand. And that's what makes me this morning think, you know what? They didn't put in the right and proper effort. Only a couple of players like Max Dowman. But all the rest of them, that's why they lost that game. They weren't up for it. Their head was somewhere else. I don't know what you think about that, Curtis, but honestly, the application from those Arsenal players in that game compared to the players of Southampton was night and day.
I mean, first of all, happy Easter to all of you and everyone locked in. Let's start with the nice it is, you know what I mean? Big up to the community as well. But yeah, yesterday was a disgrace again, because at the end of the day, we always say there's a way you can lose football matches. You can lose, but when you're a top side, you're not supposed to lose to any lower league team. I don't care how up for it they are. I don't care how hard they work. There's a reason you're in the Prem and you're at a top club. I think what we realised yesterday, number one, is that this Arsenal squad isn't as good as a lot of people think it is. You know, I've heard a lot of people this season say we got the best squad in the league. I'm not sure we have, because I saw the squad yesterday. It didn't look great. From front to back, the whole team yesterday, really, you know. I saw your interviews yesterday, and, you know, you were spot on, Robbie. You said we're relying on a 16-year-old. He was the only one who looked like something was going to happen, which is why he kept him on for 90. I saw Lee saying, you know, insurance policies on the bench. If players can't play but they're going to start at Sporting, maybe some of them needed to be there, because you've ended up getting knocked out. So, yeah, people say, oh, they got a rest, but you've embarrassed us now. The problem is we were all looking for a response. You've just lost a cup final, let the whole fan base, the club, you've let yourselves down. But Man City performed to a very high level. We didn't turn up for it. Where was the response yesterday? Run through a brick wall, mate. Run through a brick wall. Come off that pitch exhausted and go, wow, we gave everything and it just didn't happen. But you guys, you've driven down there, you know, probably got back after midnight and all kind of madness.
2:30 in the morning, mate.
2:30. You've just watched the team just sack it off. Arrogant performance. It's only Southampton. We'll beat them. They've got Wrexham on Tuesday. They might not go full strength. We'll roll them over. Before you know it, we're 1-0 down. Look at the state of the goals that we conceded. You got Odegaard back healing it, giving it away. You got Ben White misjudging a cross. I'm seeing people blame Kepa today. I don't think Kepa really was at fault for any of the goals.
No.
I do get it that, listen, maybe he doesn't give confidence to that back four. But ultimately, we didn't do anything. Do you know what? I sat there at the end of the watch-along at Man City, and in the cup final, I was fuming. Yesterday, I was just flat. I felt like they didn't even look bothered about that game. It was a strange performance. Again, I'm sat there at half-time, I'm going, there's no way that same 11 can come back out. There's no way. How can Mikel watch that first half and go on, lads, do that again? He should have dragged 2 or 3 of those players off at half-time and gone, you're having a laugh, mate. Gabriel Jesus, you're doing interviews with Rio Ferdinand. Oh, yeah, trophies and this player's great. Don't ever start that guy. He should never start for this club again. That's him done. Yeah, there's no cup games. There's no rotation. Get rid of him in the summer. And I've said before on this show, there's at least half a dozen players that are overrated, overpaid, and not good enough. Not good enough. We were looking experienced international players yesterday. Got embarrassed. Do you know what I mean? Like their left winger tore Ben White to shreds yesterday. Lewis Skelly looked shot to pieces. Do you know what I mean? Done that great bit of skill where he dropped the guy to the floor, then booted it out for a throw-in, and then got dragged off. I thought, yeah, he's all over the place. You go into midfield. The midfield, I don't know about you guys, before the game started, I looked at midfield. I said, if they've got something about them in midfield, Southampton, we're in trouble. Because Norgard as a lone 6 with Odegaard and Havertz. When's Havertz in midfield ever really worked at Arsenal? We've been watching this for 3 years going, well, Havertz don't work in midfield. And he's still playing Havertz in midfield. Odegaard didn't have a good game. He's been out injured. Do you know what I mean? It didn't work. Noni Madueke, I mean, you cut inside, you boot the ball about 20 yards wide. You just stand there smiling, showing us your veneers. And I'm like, does this guy realise that you can't just keep running, mate? You do have to stop at one point and keep the ball on the pitch. You just run it off the pitch, right? But we loaned out Ethan to pay 52 million for this guy. Disgrace, mate. Martinelli yesterday was poor. Jesus, as I said. Gyökeres, good goal. Max Dowman. They should all be in training today. Give Max Dowman the day off. He's the only one that bothered yesterday. The only one that wanted it. They kicked him. You know, learn a lot from that. Sometimes you need a few kicks when you're young. Understand what men's football is about. But I'm trying not to press the panic button, but you watch Man City's performance yesterday. They made Liverpool look like a championship club. We made the championship club look like a Premier League club. So they need to wake up, man, because I'm telling you now, these next 2 games, they have got to get something. You know, get out of Lisbon with at least a draw, because it's 2 legs. If you can get a draw and beat them at home. That Bournemouth game, I'm telling you now, that game is absolutely huge right now, considering that City have got Chelsea. So, yeah, that's me.
Go on, Jack.
You know what? I'm so finished right now, boys. I don't even know what to say about the football club itself.
I was Tenerife.
Yeah.
It would have been good as long as...
Yeah, where's your suntan?
For those at home, yeah, I might have just got off the plane. But I'm here, I'm committed, and I did manage to watch the game, which was good. I had my very legal link on my phone. It was very good. But yeah, I kind of wish I didn't. I'm not sure what went on. I think it summed it up really well. Max Dowman looked like the only one who deserved to play for the football club on the pitch. I'm not that surprised by it, looking at the names on the team sheet. I think the thing that annoys me is I know you're talking about effort and like they're not running hard enough and they're not trying. And I think the worrying thing is I thought some of them did try, but they're just not good enough. And that's what's sort of starting to get to me a little bit. Probably 2026, probably even like it's been a while now where some of the players sort of like technical levels are starting to show a bit more to me anyway, where I'm looking at them and I'm just thinking like, is there no, apart from Eze, who I've slaughtered a lot on here, give him his props. He tries stuff. He tries. It doesn't always work. He does try. And some of them players on the pitch yesterday, apart from Max Dowman, sort of looking like, where's your pride of like, just take someone on, do something. You're an Arsenal footballer. What 7th in the Championship, Southampton? It's not like they're top of the Championship running wild, or they've spent hundreds of millions and they've got a Prem squad in the Championship. Some of their guys are from Man City. The guy who scored against us from Man City's academy got released. And the thing is, I looked at Southampton's players on that pitch and looked at ours, and I did not see technically any difference. You had that winger skin in Ben White. I didn't see a flaw. There should be a flaw that we should just be above them. There should be a thing of, we can play bad, we might not run as much, but we're Arsenal. We've got these players. We've got an Ødegaard. We've got a Havertz. We've got this that are just so technically above them. It doesn't matter. We'll just scrape through. And it sort of seemed the opposite of that. It seemed like Southampton didn't even that bothered. I don't think they expected to score. I think if you look at their manager when they scored, he was sort of on his bench, sort of just looking about what the extra time's looking at. And he runs up and starts going mental. I don't think they even expected it. And then once again, for the fans, we sit there through the Carabao Cup, and over again, I've gone on about Shirky and him taking the mick out of us and Semenyo and that. You then go onto social media, you got Southampton official Twitter account taking the absolute mick out of us, asking where our quadruple is, asking are we Tottenham in disguise, etc. And that's it. And that's what I think it's got down to. My main point being is, I think the fans are going to turn quick here if we don't beat Bournemouth, because the hurt of going out of that Carabao Cup and this, and then we're looking at the Champions League and the Prem. We're all in the feeling now of, mate, let's get outside the Prem alive. You go back a month ago, we're all sitting there going, a treble wouldn't be that bad. We could drop out one of them, or maybe get the. Now we're sitting there going, please just take the Premier League anyway. City points deduction, whatever. I don't even care at this point in time. Just give me the league, and that's fine. Even Sporting beat us. I'm going to be angry for a while, but just get me the league. I'll be happy. And I don't know. It's not good feeling like that considering the confidence we had a couple months ago. But it's on the players that have taken that away from us. So. Yeah,
that's a damaging defeat, boys. I think that is really, really damaging. I'll tell you why. Like, I looked at that yesterday, and this is a team that I hear people turn around and say, "We've only lost 3 games all season. We've lost 2 games in our last 2 again in cup competitions, which there's things riding on it, and we've just not performed." And yesterday, like after on the back of that cup final defeat. That was a shambles yesterday and of a performance. Embarrassing. The manager's got to take a lot of blame as well, but I agree. The players have as well. When you're getting outfought, outrun, and outplayed by the opposition, that, as you said, Curtis, there's a way to lose and there's a way not to. The worrying thing about that today, for me, more than anything else, was that we went 1-1, right? And then I think if you was a betting man, every single betting person would have said Arsenal now go on to win that game. And they didn't. You know what I mean? It was a shocker of a performance. So many poor performances, so many things that were wrong with that game. And I have to look at the selection of it. That's basically the same team against Mansfield, right? Yeah, Jesus done absolutely nothing in that game up front, right? There he is playing again. Havertz, as you said, Curtis, he typified everything about Arsenal yesterday. What as a midfield player, and I stick up for Havertz all the time. As a midfield player, the fundamentals of a midfield player are to go box to box, tackle, pass, shoot. Right? He done nothing of those. He didn't get out of second gear all game.
He was playing at a pace, right? That I'm like, yo, bro, what is this? I saw you move faster than him, Lee, right? When I was watching the clip of your game the other day. Remember your game the other day when you were moving faster than Havertz.
No,
good penalty, by the way, Lee. I saw your penalty.
Thank you very much.
Composed.
Thank you very much. Yeah, great. And that just shows you it all. But that didn't work against Mansfield, boys, if you remember rightly. If you remember rightly, the best player in the park against Mansfield was Dowman. And we got a wonder goal from Eze that sort of brushed over the thing. But, we all say this. Yeah. It's not about that. It's about getting through to the next round. And we've done that, I hear a lot of fans turn around and go, well, it's only the FA Cup. We've got Champions League to play. like, you know, or we're still going to win the league. After what I'm watching, we ain't winning this league, boys. As a football club, we're not winning it. We're going to have to rely on someone else to take points off of Man City because we ain't. Because we ain't got the mentality for it. The manager hasn't got the mentality. Like, you know, I hear today, and I've been listening to a lot of stuff today, like, and this is what I've heard today. Sell Martinelli, not good enough. Sell Trossard, not good enough. Sell Jesus, not good enough. Sell Havertz, not good enough. Sell Madueke, not good enough. Sell Ben White. Well, why have all these players not performing now? There's got to be a reason, and I tell you the reason is the manager. I'm at a stage now. If he wins the league, right, I'm not so sure I still want him now. I'm getting to that stage yet because I'm fed up with what I'm seeing. Poor performances. When was the last time we played really well in the Champions League? When was the last time before that?
When are these players going to take some responsibility for the? Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying right that you know you can't. Obviously, a manager gets praised when you win games, right? So you know, I said it when we did our player ratings yesterday. I gave him.
Yeah.
So what did we give him? 3, 4. Mikel Arteta, because, you know, we've gone out of the cup. But when are these players, when are they going to take responsibility? Kai Havertz is a German international. He's getting picked for Germany, right? He was in the latest squad. Ben White has just played 2 games for England as an England right back. And you go and put in a half-hearted performance like that. Those players, they did not play up to their levels yesterday, right? Sometimes players have to take a personal responsibility. When you play football, they say win your battles. Which one of them, apart from Max Dowman, won their battles yesterday? Which one of them? The only one I can even look at and make a little case and say, all right, you know what? I'm going to go over hard on him. He's Odegaard because he's been out injured for a long time. I think that is his first game since January. So I'll give him a little slack, right? But everybody else, how is it a 16-year-old kid is showing the right application and showing everything that we want to see in an FA Cup game, and all the rest of them, Jesus, all these players, were not up for it?
Because
those players there have got to take responsibility. That team yesterday was good enough to beat Southampton. Even the players, I remember me and you was arguing at the game, even the players that come on, Calafiori, Italian international, just, you know what I mean, right? Gyökeres, he scored anyway, but Gyökeres, Swedish international top player, right? Who else came on? Saliba. French international, one of the best centre-backs. If we used to sell him tomorrow, it's 150 million quid. These are not, you know, I mean, it's not like, you know, remember in Wenger that time with all the kids and all stuff? It's not kids. The only kid did the business. Sometimes these players have to take personal responsibility for your performances on the pitch. I mean, they should feel ashamed this morning, some of those players, because they did not turn up to that game with the right attitude to go and win a game. Like you said, what you just said there, Lee, when it was 1-1, that's what they were thinking. Oh, we're going to win this without going to win this. So, you know what I mean? You look at the game. Look how that game panned out. We had loads of the ball. We can't even moan about, the style of play too tough, because we had loads of the ball. I think we had about 23 shots. But what did we do? What did we do with that? Who took the ball and said, you know what, let me win this game now, man. Charlie, you know what? I'm looking at players, they should be saying to themselves, yeah, you know, we've got a tough game on Tuesday. Brother, I'm not even in no extra time with this game, you know. Give me the ball, man. Let's go and win this now, 90 minutes. Who was doing that apart from Max Dowman? Who? Like Kurt said, Madueke grinning. Grinning about, bro. It's embarrassing. No, so I'm looking at the squad there. Ben White played for England. Mosquera played for Spain. Gabriel Magalhaes, Brazilian international. Luis Skelly All right, you're not at England at the moment, but he was away with the England under-21s and had a good game, apparently, yeah? Odegaard's, been out injured. Norgard, Denmark international. Havertz, German international. Gabriel Martinelli's just been away, played 2 games for Brazil. Will be in the Brazil squad at the World Cup in the summer. And Jesus, former Brazilian international. The only 2 players on that pitch that are not internationals is Kepa and Gabriel Jesus, and they're former international players. Then Calafiori comes on, international. Saliba, international. Madueke, international. Zubamendi, international, playing for Spain. There are no excuses. These guys did not apply themselves in the right way to go and win an FA Cup game away at Southampton. They took it lightly. They thought that we're Arsenal, we'll turn up, we'll get the job done, we'll fight. Yeah, somehow we'll just breeze past this without breezing past it because the other team were up for it and you weren't. And that's why we lost that game yesterday. That is why. Pure and simple. And if they don't go and win the league now, or the Champions League, to me now, I want to see maximum focus on both. And I'll tell you the truth, some of them players there, unless there's an injury, I don't want to see them, man, there. I don't want to hear anybody else telling me about, oh yeah, I think, I've heard arguments this season, and I remember me getting a lot of stick. People saying, oh, look what the manager's doing to Lewis Skelly. Why is he not? Oh, well, we see, Lewis Skelly, you've had your chance. Haven't done the job. You're going to have to wait for injuries now before you get a look in. How comes Ben White ain't getting a look in, man? But now we see why. Yeah, because I don't think you would have seen Timber do that, would you? Right, so you've had your chance in 2 big games, ain't delivered, right? So, right? Norgard, how comes Norgard keeps playing Zubamendi every week? This guy will only be playing now, as far as I'm concerned, right, if there's an injury. Same with Jesus. Same with Havertz. The only one out of all them lot that will get a look in, as far as I'm concerned, right, in the starting 11 could be a Dowman. He has earned the right to be in the starting 11 conversation for definite. Everybody else, as I looked through that, is starting 11 yesterday. Kepa, no, that's it, you're done, right? Your own injuries only, you get a look in. Same with Lewis Skelly. Same with Mosquera. That's been his role anyway. Same with Ben White. Norgard. Well, Martinelli, we got no choice because it's either him or Trossard. Same with Havertz. Same with Jesus.
Rob, can I say something back there just for the sake of a bit of a debate there? Whilst I do agree with you, I think sometimes the bigger picture we've got to look at is, okay, Lewis Skelly's come in a few times this season, hasn't played well. Ben White doesn't look up to his usual level. I'd be asking the question, if I was the owners especially, how's Lewis Skelly gone from England's left-back, one of the best young left-backs in the country, to looking like he can't play when he plays? How's Ben White gone from one of the most solid right-backs in the country to getting skinned by a Southampton winger that I didn't even know his name yesterday? Like,
Ben White, listen, he's had injuries, right? In all fairness to him, he's had injuries that set him back and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, right, you know what I mean? A player has to, it's not always strictly the manager. Listen, the manager takes responsibility, but come on. That mistake that Ben White made yesterday, right? If you go, Curtis, you watch your son play, yeah? And that happened on you and you're driving him home, if you didn't let him walk, right? On driving him home, you're going to be berated.
It's a quiet drive.
It's a quiet drive, actually, because you shouldn't really berate.
Quiet drive, really, I'm telling you.
But you know, as a dad, take
them
drives home are like this. You know what I mean? And you turn on little music and that, you don't even say nothing. You're just like, let me just keep it. Because that was an awful, awful error. And we did a similar one earlier. I think who done the one earlier?
Gabriel flicked it on, didn't he? The guy was one-on-one. Yeah, Gabriel.
When people are cussing, I think Mosquera bailed him out. Man.
The thing that was strange yesterday about that game is like we look so disjointed. Them players look like they didn't even know each other. You know what I mean? It looked like they just met up and say, "Oh, let me try and win a little." You know what I mean? Hackney Marshalls game,
But
team of strangers,
don't
man.
you think, Curtis, right? Like, is a fan, I think it was that guy Adam in one of the interviews yesterday. I thought he was really good because what he kept saying, he kept using this word, we lack courage. And it's so true. Only Dowman would take a ball and say, right, you know what, let me try and run past 2-3 players. Who else? Apart from Nonny, but he just, like you said, he's just running.
You know when you look at it, Rob, right? It's crazy because the FA Cup is probably the sole reason that Arteta's still the Arsenal manager. If he doesn't win that first FA Cup, he would have probably gone during those rocky moments, but he had a little bit of credit in the bank. When you look at that win, individual brilliance probably won us that competition. Alba scored 4 goals in the semi-final and final. Emi Martinez was playing unreal. Big individual performances. When you look at our team now and our whole squad, how many players in our squad are going to grab a ball and go and do something? Probably Max Dowman, who's still in school, and probably Eze. Eze was actually just starting to hit that run of form and then he gets injured. I just think he's created a squad of players where they're not built to do that. They don't get the ball and think, let me go and take risks and run at players. It's all very safe. It's all very predictable. It's all very systematic. I don't think we've got those mavericks who, you know, who's going to do in our team what Cherky did. Now, I'm not saying they need to do that, but I'm saying Cherky's got that freedom to go, oh, man, I'm going to embarrass these lot and do kick-ups. I'm going to lay one on them in the title race. I think that's something that he's missed slightly in the transfer.
Dowman, isn't it? Max Dowman or Eze?
Max and Eze, the only two to me that I'll see. Listen, they need to respond this week, you know, because we're all panicking.
Yeah. And
Lee made a great point there. Is like, we're not looking at Arsenal and going, we're going to go and win the league and run away with it. I'm more looking going, will Man City drop points at Chelsea? You know what I mean? I'm not looking thinking we're going to go and win our next 6 games and win the league. I'm thinking, will City draw a couple games and we'll manage to just get away from them? And that's the worrying thing. At the business end of the season, all their players are getting fit. All of them are playing. Semenyo's balling. Haaland hat-trick. You're looking at us going, who's in form for Arsenal at the moment, in the attack in particular? Gabriel goes down yesterday, holding his knee. You've got to hope that's just a contact injury and not anything more. So he's got for me, Arteta, he's got to wake up a little bit. Like, sometimes it's like the game's just passing him by. I don't understand. Like, I feel like he's very selective with his ruthlessness. It's like Eze does that at Palace, at Villa, away. Get him off. He let everyone know that's not acceptable. Get him off the pitch. But then you see other things and you go, well, he probably let that slide because he really likes that player and he get away with it. You give him 70 minutes. I just think, if you're going to be ruthless with the whole group. So like you said, Rob, some of them players yesterday, you've had your chance. You know what I mean? You can't complain now if you don't kick a ball for the rest of the season. But let's see. The team will be interested.
Curtis.
Go on, Lee.
Jesus had his chance at Mansfield and he blew it. But there he is playing again. You know, Havertz, right? We how many midfield games has he played well in since he's been at the club? He plays centre forward. That's his role, or a different centre forward to Gyökeres, a false 9 role. Yeah. Well, why aren't he playing that yesterday? Oh, we ain't got enough midfield players, or we ain't got a squad good enough. Yeah, you do. You could have put.
But step up, though. Step up, Lee. Right? Because you know what I saw last year. Right?
Robbie hasn't stepped up in midfield all his Arsenal career. So why are you expecting him to do it now?
Step up, or you know what I mean? Because I saw Mikel Merino last year. He weren't a striker, yeah, and he had to play that role, and he stepped up. That's what I'm talking about when I say players.
I'll tell you what, he's being missed.
When I say players, right, I want to see players, right, do something and not just cry about the manager, right? This man was thrown in as a striker, and he stepped up and done the business for us. Why can't some of these, man? You're not a regular. You're getting a chance to play and you can't step up.
We're still getting a chance. Jesus said they couldn't play against Mansfield, Rob, and there he is playing, going up another level against Southampton, and he's still playing. We actually played that first half with 10 men because he done nothing. And then I'm thinking, right, he's going to change it in the second half, right? Put Havertz up top and change it. You know, my mate even turned around today and said, like, you know, why don't he put Martinelli up top and put Jesus out wide? Try something different. There was nothing. You know what I mean? He give us 0 yesterday, like, you know what I mean? But he done exactly the same against Mansfield. 0. And at the end of the day, yeah, I'm fully on with you about the players. But he's picking them. When I see Jesus, I thought, oh no, I thought Havertz was going to be up top. Like, I get it that we ain't got that. And Marino's been a big loss because if Marino's fit yesterday, he plays in the Havertz role, and Havertz plays up top. Like, you know what I mean? But we're having to go down that route. I look at it yesterday, Rob, and this is what I'm going to say about Mikel Arteta. Let's see what a man he is. Let's see how good he is as a manager, right? Because I see him rewarding Jesus for a piss poor performance. I see him rewarding Havertz in midfield for a poor performance. Blah, 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 blah. The one player that deserves to be playing, and I hope he does against Bournemouth, forget about Champions League. When we play Bournemouth, which that's the most important game now of the season, right? When we play, I'm not playing Max Dowman against, I'll tell you that, I'm not playing him against Lisbon because I'm resting him, right? Because we've got a bigger game against Bournemouth.
Right? You go to resting again.
No, because he's only 16 and to play 90 minutes, his first 90 minutes is a tough ask. So go and play it Tuesday and then go and play it against Bournemouth. I expect him to be starting against Bournemouth. Our biggest game of the season.
Agreed.
And I expect him to start. And the reason I expect him to start is because he done what no other player on that pitch done yesterday, walked off with a bit of pride. Not one of them walks off with any pride or whatever. In fact, really, they should be getting on the train or on a car, and he should be getting on the bus on his own because that's how good he was.
There were no trains, so they would have to walk.
Yeah, that's how good he was yesterday. Special treatment for that kid, right? The rest of them are like, you know what I mean, have got a lot of what making up to do. And do you know what really hurts me more than anything about this, Robbie, is forget about the manager, forget about the players, just have a think about it, right? They should be sitting in that dressing room, right? And it's about them as much as it is us, right? At the end of the day, is that we have to walk out of that ground yesterday and endure all the second again, bottlers. We have to get it all on social media, bottlers, right? If that doesn't give you the inspiration to go and stop that happening, I don't know what. And you go and turn in a performance like that where I see players strolling about, not really that bothered, right, at the end of the day. A manager then turning around and saying, oh, it's about me now, I've got to do that. I've heard that all week. Yeah, we'll show what we've done in the cup final. What we've done in the cup final is just not only we've gone down and embarrassed ourselves even more from the cup final result. That was even worse what I see yesterday, like, you know what I mean? And I think it's all right. Go and redeem it in the Champions League. Redeem it against Sporting to then go and like blow it against Barcelona or whatever, because that's what's coming. Because when it really matters, these players do not perform when it matters. When it matters. Played very, very well at Real Madrid last season and didn't do it against PSG. 3 games we've lost all season. 3 games. But when the business end of the season happens, knockout football to win a trophy and all that, don't turn up. Don't perform yesterday. And I'm sorry, like, you know what I mean? The mentality of these players is the question I'm questioning now. Not their ability, it's what they've got up here, the mentality. And I don't think that they're good enough for it.
Also, the common denominator, sorry, Jack, I'm going to let you come in. Sorry, the common denominator as well is that some of the, you know, like a bit like what Curtis was saying, some of the squad players, they had their chance in the last 2 games. Last 2 games, it's been about them, yeah? Those players that don't always play, you know what I mean, they got their chance. And none of them have delivered. That's why, Lee, when you were there a few weeks ago chatting about, rest this and rest that, yeah, I hope I don't want to hear nothing about no resting, because now there's no excuses for no resting.
I'm telling you this
I
now,
don't
Rob.
hear
I'm
nothing
telling
about
you
no
this now.
rest,
I do
Rice
not
or
want to see Declan Rice on Tuesday night. I don't want to see Saka on Tuesday night.
Oh,
I do not want to
I
see
do.
Timber on Tuesday
No,
night.
no,
I
no, no,
want
no.
to see them all on Saturday. Do you know
I want to
what?
see them
I'm
on
fed up with people
Tuesday.
saying this, Rob. That
I
at the
want
end
to
of the day, what's the most important game? What's the most?
see.
What was the?
We're
What is
not.
the most?
We're not.
I'll stop
All
you
right,
now.
all right, all
What
right.
is the most important game? Sporting Lisbon or that game yesterday?
We're not doing
What's
this
the most
now.
important game?
Hold on, Lee. We're not doing this now from now till the end of the season. Every game is important. So I expect these, man, unless you're injured or fatigued to the ends of the thing, you're playing every game now, right? Because we've seen the other man, them, and we've seen that those guys, we cannot rely on them. Maybe they can come in little 15, 20s. But I want to see Declan Rice, if fit, in every single game from now till the end of the season. They ain't got to worry about no FA Cup, Carabao Cup, all them things now. No excuses. I want to see there's no reason to rest anybody unless they're injured. And you've seen the other lot. Well, you want them in there? I don't want to see them, man, in there unless they've not earned the right to start. So from now on, I want to see Declan Rice, maybe Saka, Dowman, because Dowman's earned the right, like you said. But the rest of them, you're only on last 15 minutes. Take a man off early for a little chill for the following week or something like that. But starting Rice every game from now till the end of the season. Saka, all those type of men, every game now. Who out of them lot of, you know what I mean? And there's no excuses now.
Saka
For resting, is there any excuses for resting players? I don't know what you other guys think.
No, I agree with that. I don't think. I think you've got 7 league games now. Look, listen, I'm still on that boat now. Like, you know what I mean? You've tossed away 2 trophies in cups. Miles will toss away the other one if that's the way he's going to be.
No more. No, go and win both.
They've got no chance, Rob, of winning both. They're not good enough. No. Not good enough.
That's the issue. Not good enough. But it'd be interesting. I'm more focused on the manager now, because my point is like we just said the past 10 minutes, Max Dowman has to start for me. I think he's probably our most informed player when you look at our squad. And I know he is 16, but you know, like we keep saying, Yamal was doing it if you're good enough, you're old enough, and it's gone to that point where he's our best choice right winger / number 10 at the moment. He's in better form than Saka when Saka's been playing recently. And it comes down to players like Madueke, and I go, where is Arteta's loyalty with the fans and the club, or with these players he's brought in? Does he want to just be known as the guy that, you know, I brought Madueke in, none of you wanted him, and I've proved you all wrong, and that's where he gets his kick? Or is it actually winning games and actually just putting the best players out on the pitch? Because with Madueke, we've watched him the entire season now, and yeah, he has 1 or 2 goals across the, Bayern Munich goal. I'm not saying he hasn't scored 1 or 2, but 99% of the time, his game is exactly the same every single week. Run it down the line, put the ball into Rosed or out for a throw-in every single time. I think 99% of the time. And it's at the point now, where does Arteta go, okay, well, you're not good enough. You can't play anymore. You're not good enough. When does that happen? But it's still, like Lee said, they get rewarded. They get to play in the cup. To them, it's funny that we're losing. To Madueke, it's funny. And it's funny that he just keeps putting the ball in Rosed. But like I think Lee's point was perfect, or I think it might have been Robbie. When Eze did what he did, we were all sat here going, yeah, you know what? Fair enough. He deserves that. Arteta's showing him you can't do that as an Arsenal player. But it seems he just has favourites sometimes. And that's what's annoying the fans, because Martinelli, what has he done outside of the Champions League all season? He's been horrendous. So bad. Madueke, like, again, so bad. And Havertz in midfield, what a surprise. So bad. And it's like they just keep getting 2nd and 3rd and 4th and 5th chances. And we're at the point in the season now where we haven't got time for 2nd, 3rd, 4th chances. You either perform now or you lose the league. And I don't want Arteta to be like, it comes to Bournemouth, oh, I'm not going to play Max. I don't know, we'll go over the experience, we'll go with Noni, we'll go with Saka, and we'll put Saka in a 10, however he wants to do it. I'm looking at the team going, who's the most informed, who's our best players right now? It's Max Dowman. He's been doing it since the cup, the last round of the Cup Mansfield. Done it in the cup again. Done it in the league against Everton. He's shown up where Madueke and Saka and Martinelli and Trossard haven't shown up. So to me, he starts. It doesn't matter how old he is. But to some of them players out there, it's just at the point now of, if they're not ashamed of themselves, they don't need us to pile it on, because you can't be going out at Southampton and having what happened against City happen to you and you not want to turn it around. That's probably my point of, I could have done without a flashy performance last night, just get the result purely on the back of that City game where, everyone's laughing at us. They're probably laughing even harder now.
Jack, who's had the better season, right? Noni Madueke this season, or Ethan Wanyeri last season?
Yeah, it's not even close. We're
So that's
playing
not on the
Madueke.
manager then. That's not on the manager. That's on the player. Is it, or is
No,
it? It's the manager.
No,
you
it's
know
on
what I mean?
the it's on the manager for choosing him. It's on the manager for choosing him
Thank
and
you.
making that decision.
Thank
He's
you.
the one that's seen them both in training and decided, I think Madueke is going to help us more than Ethan Wanyeri is in the title end of the season. And he's wrong. He's wrong. We've all sat here. We can all rate Madueke for being able to beat a man, and we can all say he's had a good game here and there. But you're factually lying if you say that Wanyeri was not better at football for Arsenal than Madueke is. But Wanyeri's better in the 10. He was better on the wing. He's better coming off the bench. He scored more goals. He got more assists. So at that point, you're thinking, well, why do we do that? But I can accept that mistake. A lot of us were saying, we all had chats about, Wanyeri needs game time, and we didn't expect the Marino injury, the Odegaard injury, Eze injury, etc. But I think that's when it comes down to the manager and go, well, we're the fans. We're not supposed to know everything. You're the guy that sees these guys every single day, and you've made the wrong decision. It looks like it's going to hurt us because we've now got a toothless attack, and your £50 million winger is the person that's trying to save us out of this. And Saka's injuries are caught up with him. The only man I thought, did himself a shame that we haven't spoke about much of him, that did his job when he came on, was Gyökeres. Again, another player that been critical on throughout the season, but he came on, got his goal, did what he was supposed to do. He got told, come off the bench and score a goal, and he did that. And the hat trick for Sweden, you're hoping he's going to play himself into some good form, because it'd be massive to have him to rely on for these, but especially these past, these next scrappy games that we've got. The Newcastles, the West Hams, etc. that are coming up. We need him, so it's good that he scored. But yeah, in terms of the
there's no
team,
doubt he's starting from now.
Yeah,
he's season.
He's cemented. I remember there's times, but I think even some of you guys might have joined in with me saying, I don't know if he should start the next one and stuff. Now, he's on number 9.
For every game now, what is your team, and what's the front three? What's your midfield?
I think it can change.
For every single game now, what is your midfield and what is your front three?
My midfield, by the way, I think Zubimendi, Rice, Eze. That's my midfield. But Eze, obviously, we don't know when he's going to be back. That's the problem. The front three, you've probably... it's difficult because Saka's inconsistent. And I agree with you. I think Mac should start against Bournemouth. It's just whether you start him in the 10 or you start him on the right. Gyökeres plays up front for me, personally, just because I think he's a goal scorer and you need big goals, big moments. The left wing is a flip of the coin. I just don't know who you play on the left. Trossard, Martinelli, it's the same thing. Calafiori was a bit worrying for me yesterday. That guy just breezed past him about 3 times yesterday. And Capie, Arteta said his injury looks like it could be a bad one. So you're going to end up with Calafiori. Obviously, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, Rail. I think that's what you got to go with. But
who did you have on the left wing?
I haven't got one. You could pick anyone. You could genuinely pick anyone. You could pick Trossard. You could pick Martinelli. You could put anybody out there. Martinelli seems to do better when he comes off the bench as an impact player. But in the Champions League, I think the worrying thing is that, and I agree with Lee, by the way, I don't think you can allow the manager to just get away with it. Even though I agree with you, Rob, the players have to take responsibility, but he signed these players. So if he signs a player and then he doesn't perform, we go, well, why did you buy him? Why did you spend 50 million on a player that can't get in the Chelsea team, but you expected him to come here and light up trees? It's not. When have we ever signed a Chelsea player and it's worked out? And we keep going back there, buying their leftovers. Do you know what I mean? It's like the FA Cup again. I feel like this guy just don't want to win trophies sometimes. It's like, bro, that FA Cup means a lot to this club. You've just denied the fans another trip to Wembley. I'll be honest, I thought it was in the bag. I just thought,
so did they.
Who beat Southampton? So did they. I saw Lee say it yesterday, how can you have a run to a semi-final you haven't played one Premier League team? You couldn't dream that up.
Easy.
You couldn't dream that up. Oh yeah, we'll take one's League One, two League One and two Championship teams, and you can't get past that to get to a semi-final. I was thinking, get to a semi-final. We owe Man City revenge, after what they did to us. Pep must be sitting there going, boy, look at these lot. You know what I mean? The pressure's on, and this team can't handle it. That is the problem. And there's a mentality problem at this club.
Do you know?
And the manager's got to take some responsibility. On Norgard, he's a sensible signing. But, did any Arsenal fan really want Christian Norgard? Did any Arsenal fan want Noni Madueke or Kai Havertz? Or why is Jesus still starting in important games? Like Lee says.
Curtis, I'm just going to interject there and say, right, me, I've always looked on Norgard as a backup. Yeah? He's a backup player, right? And I've heard a lot of fans this season say, why ain't he starting? Why do we keep playing Zubimendi? We've seen the reasons why. That's why. That's why the guy don't start week in, week out.
Then what do? You can't play Zubimendi all the time.
That's why he's a backup. That's why he'd be like, come on for 15 minutes when, you know what I mean? That's why.
It needs upgrade.
Why buy him?
Do you know what?
If we don't think he's good enough.
The biggest worry for me yesterday, right? And I'm going to talk about Madueke, why I'm a little bit peeved with him, right? More than anybody else on that team, right? Is because I see a left back stretched to his absolute limit by a 16-year-old, right? And then you think, right, 20 minutes from the end, he's been run ragged, that left back, by him, right? I'm going to see a fresh Madueke do the same. And it was just pathetic. £50 million we spent on him. We could have spent, and people say, man, Robbie's one of these, like, we could have bought Semenya for that. No, we can't because of PSV, the rules and everything like that, right? Right, okay.
No, Lee. We couldn't.
We could have saved the money. £50 million we could have saved, kept Wanyeri there, and then gone in January and got him.
Yeah, let's just say, Lee. Yeah, let's just say, Lee. Me and you had this argument yesterday. Just to say, because this ain't FIFA, yeah? So I told you yesterday when you said, why don't we get Semenyo instead, that the Mandem in the summer said he's not for sale. He did not go to anybody, Lee. No team, despite loads of teams right across Europe wanting him, he did not go to any team. They signed him on a new contract and they put in a release clause. And that release clause says you've got to pay all the money up front, right? And when it came to January, Arsenal could not do that deal to buy Semenyo. They said that they would only be able to do that deal in the summer because it would put them beyond the FFP rules. So don't twist it up. You got to get your facts right. We can't just say, why don't you get Semenyo when a team says, he's not for sale? What are you going to do? Go there with a gun and stick it to their head and say, you have to sell him. So, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong.
If it's not Semenyo, why Madueke? Why Madueke?
You would facts.
Why Madueke?
Well, then that's another argument. We'll say that then. Why? The argument you make about why... The argument you make...
I would not have bought Madueke. We had
the argument... Just say that. But don't say nonsense about Semenyo because we couldn't get Semenyo in the summer.
Yeah.
Nobody could get
him in January. We could have got him in January.
No, we couldn't because by that time... We spent on what we've got to spend. We will break the PSR rules. So that's why we couldn't buy him. Common knowledge.
We hadn't bought Madueke.
Well, that's hindsight is a great thing, but nobody knew that they were going to sell Semenyo in. Everybody was set looking at Semenyo probably in the summer. Remember, Liverpool wanted him. They couldn't get him because same thing. So we got. But was Madueke the right sign? That's
the point.
It's that 100% you could argue. 100% you could argue that point because he's certainly not, pulling up tree. When you saw what he did when he came on yesterday.
But
to me, I'm not even scapegoating him because the guy...
Madueke going to be starting for Arsenal and be the best player in our team in the next 2 years? I don't think he is.
No, I don't think he was. I don't think he was brought in to start. I always found Madueke a strange signing because for me, I was always like, surely you go and get a player to play on the left wing. So that's why I was like, we were right on the right. I thought we had, Saka, we got Wanyeri. So I was like, right.
And also Dowman coming through. I don't know why we signed
Yeah.
him. I don't know why.
Right.
So I'm not having a go at him and all that. Like, I'm just
But
frustrated at what I see yesterday from him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's done well for us in other games. I'm not saying it, but that was a
we're
game
picking more on
yesterday.
him on this show, but whereas when I look around that pitch, there was people who play literally the whole game who did nothing. So,
yeah, but like you said, he's brought in to do that. Like you just said, I feel you just said we brought Madueke in to do this, to be the backup, to be the
and
quality
he was
backup.
poor. He was very
and he's not done it. And he's not just done it. It's not just this game. He's done this all apart from that Bayern Munich game where I thought he was good, which was how long ago was that? That was so long ago.
No, he's
That's
had
the game I can only game I
Jack.
can
He's
think
had other
about.
games where he's made an impact. He's had
An impact.
we've had
50
people.
million.
Listen, let's not be. We've had this season people saying he should be starting in front of Saka. He hasn't been.
I think that's
terrible.
more on Saka. I think that's more on Saka.
He has not
than-
been.
than
He's
Fulham.
not been terrible this season. He might have been
50
terrible
million
last.
pounds.
But
He's
he's
not
been
terrible, Robbie. He's frustrating. That's what he is. It's
He is.
50 million pounds.
You know what I mean?
2
Like,
goals.
it's just so frustrating with it. I don't mind him as a. He seems like a nice kid. You know what I mean? He beats a player really well and whatever. But he's just frustrating. It's not.
Is he better than Cunha? Is he better than Mbeumo? Because these are other players that were on the market. Maybe Mbeumo had a preference for Man United, but Cunha, is he better than Cunha? Similar price? He's not better than Cunha. And that's my point. I don't think it's on
Cunha was
Madueke as much.
65 million, isn't he? But he's not better than Cunha.
Wolves had another, like, talk about PSR, Wolves had a thing where they sold Cunha at certain segments of prices to make it work for United. So there's
65
players out there. There's players out there we could have made it work. And that's my point. We all were praising this Berta guy when he came in. But if we look at it when...
Oh, it's Berta's fault
we
now.
go,
You lot just...
no, but I'm saying we were all praising him.
You was praising him a few weeks ago.
We were praising him.
You were
Yeah,
praising
exactly,
him
we
a
were praising
few
him.
weeks ago. Don't
And now look at Madueke.
No, hold on.
And now
You were
look at Madueke.
praising
Who's
Berta.
fault is it?
You just said praising this Berta guy. You were praising Berta a few weeks ago. You were saying that Mikel Arteta's world class a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right. Just keep your thing on track, bro. Yeah, because
I'm on track.
You said that a few weeks ago. That's what I'm saying. When sometimes you've got to look at these players and say, yo, what have you done for me lately? What are you when you?
That's what I'm saying with Madueke.
That's why I said
what
I woke up
Madueke
this
done
morning.
all season?
That's
What
why I
has
said
Madueke
I
done
woke
all
up this
season?
morning and I'm looking on these man them and I'm like, yo, bro, you man who last night were a disgrace because you lot turned up there thinking it's only Southampton. I got my eye on the Champions League and I got my eye on next week Bournemouth without having your eye on what's in front of you. What's in front of you is Southampton. And the only guy who had their eye on what was in front of them was Max Dowman. That's it. Max Dowman had his eye on what was in front of him. Everybody else was like, boy, Champions League, man, boy. What time's the flight again? That's how them man were thinking. They weren't focused on what was in front of them. They had enough of the ball. They had enough shots. If you had 23 shots, that means you've had enough chances to win that game. They didn't do nothing with it.
We didn't actually create much, did we? Though, like I don't remember a big chance outside of the goal. Really,
Passively moving around. The only ones in the focus, Max Dowman. When Gyökeres came on, yo, give me the ball, man. I'm going to make something happen. Well, everybody else, it was a disgrace. Now, the only thing I'll say is what Lee said before we came on air, right? Lee said something about that conversation he had with his friend. Maybe you might want to repeat that, Lee. But that's the only thing that's going to make me feel anything where I forget about these last two. Listen, what you said, Lee.
It is a great point, like, you know what I mean? And I was just saying that in the context of it all, I'm just saying that, you know what I mean? Like, you know, the Jesus thing and Havertz didn't work against Mansfield. They got away with it. You know, elite teams don't lose to lower opposition and don't go. And Arsenal are not going to win the league. Going to have teams to do them a favour. My mate turned around and it's a fantastic point. And he said, "Look, I don't agree with you there. I agree with some things that you say. However, you have to bear in mind that Liverpool last season lost to Newcastle in the League Cup, and they also went out to Plymouth in the FA Cup. So I get that. It's a great point. You know what I mean? Like, so Arsenal now have got to see it through. They've got to see it through now. Like, you know what I mean? They have to see it through. And if they don't see it through, the conversations have got to be there, guys. You know what I mean? Thanks for what you've done, Mikel. You've done fantastically well for us, but we cannot carry on like this.
Yeah, no, I think if he'd be gone, surely.
Would you get rid of him, Rob, then, if he goes trophy?
I think he'd have to.
There you go.
You have to. Like,
there.
with all the promise and that's been shown this season, all these competitions, if you don't win nothing this season, you have to. That's not. I don't even think that's a. I don't even think that's a question, is it?
No, but I thought you was forever Arteta.
No, see, that's where you lot get this. That's where you lot get this thing wrong, right? I tried to put logic on things, right? But at the end of the day, if this season where we've had our best chance of winning, we've got the best squad. We've been playing well all season, and then now you fold.
The conversation, Rob, if we only win the league, only win the league.
No, if you win the league, no. If you win the league, of course you don't get sacked. We haven't won the league for. Listen, we haven't won the league for 22 years. I want the league. Yeah. I said to people when people were talking weeks ago about quadruple, I told man that quadruple. That's not easy things to win because of this. Because of that, we see it with squads and that and injuries. You know, and the injuries are starting to pile up a bit.
Who's going to win it?
Let's remember as well, the injuries.
I'm not heard one of us say we're going to win the quadruple. I've never said it.
No, there were people. Yeah, it's been mainly opposition fans, but people talking quadruples. Some people fans have mentioned trebles and. Just go and win the league, man. That's the main thing. And if you can win the Champions League, that's a bonus on top. But the main thing is now, the position that we've been in all season, we have to win that league. We have to win that league. We are in a commanding position even now. Even when we've done the scenarios the other day, even with where Jack was being pessimistic, he still had us winning the league. If we don't go and win that league from here, how can he survive?
Yeah.
He can't.
Do that.
No, I agree. Listen, he's had enough time. He's had enough money. He's built this squad.
Has to win it.
He's got to win it. It'd be interesting if we did that prediction video now, wouldn't it, for the results? I'd change a few of them results after watching them last couple of games. But for me now, my Champions League sort of hopes have dwindled. I'll be honest. Like, I'm looking and thinking, if you can't beat Southampton, listen, I know we weren't at full strength, but I just don't think this manager's built for like one-off big games where you need magic. I just think he's got a better opportunity of maybe doing it in the league. I think the only difference, I agree, I get your point about last year, Lee, with Liverpool, but Liverpool sort of strolled to the title. Do you know what I mean? They won it by 10 points, where it looks like we're going to go close to the end. We're going to have to really fight our way to get there, aren't we? So, yeah. Amongst that negative, I suppose the only positive they've got to take is less games, you know. That's, you know, we don't go to Wembley, but I would have loved to have seen them at Wembley in the FA Cup. But, yeah, they've got to take that out of it, that less football with less excuses, I suppose. But
no excuses.
Yeah. That Sporting Lisbon game looks very tough now on Tuesday, don't you know what I mean? Not a lot of time to rest. The team selection is going to be interesting. You know, who is fit, who is injured. It's going to be tricky.
It's the one thing, you know, the injuries have been piling up as well. That's the only thing that's worrying me, right? We've got to get those players back, like your Timbers, and you know, we need these guys back now for this last push at the end of the season. We have to have them back. We have to have those players back because right now, you know, as we've seen over the last 2 games, the man them that are coming in, I don't know. But actually, guys, let's talk a little bit about Sporting. I know we spent a lot of time on that. Before we get to that, just to remind everybody that this show's brought to you today by William Hill's Final One Standing. The game is back. Football's ultimate to free play game. Now, remember the last beat, Robbie? That was chaos. I'll admit that. I went out in round 1, backing guess who? And thousands of you were very happy to remind me about that, including Lee. But, yeah, I see him laughing.
55,000 people beat you, Robbie, like, yeah? 55,000 people beat you, winning an unbelievable £1.07. Eh?
No, listen.
That
This
is
is Lee.
incredible. £1.70, like, you know what I mean? What a disgrace of a performance, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're so generous that everybody got. And listen, because of this, I'm going up against you and all, like, you know what I mean? Fifth.
Dude,
How have you got the gig? Can someone please tell me, like, how you got the gig to do it again,
it's
like, you know what I mean?
on, Robbie, mate. Don't worry, right, about
Beat
that.
Robbie, like, you know, it's easier to
We're
beat an
doing
egg.
this again. Don't worry. It's officially back. And if you can last longer than me in the final one standing game, you'll share a £50,000 prize right. It's the same rules as before, people. You pick a Premier League team to win in each round. If they win, you stay in. If they lose or draw, you're out. And you can't use the same team twice. And if you think you've got a better knowledge than me, come and prove it, man. Come if you're bad enough. Yeah? Download the William Hill app or hit the link below to enter Beat Robbie before Saturday's 3 p.m. kickoff. The 3 p.m. kickoff. Remember that. And you've got to be over 18, based in the UK or Ireland only. Gamble responsibly. T's and C's apply. Free to play, right? So I'm going to do better this time. I haven't even... Do I go... Well, I can't go Arsenal because after 3 p.m. It's after 3 p.m. and obviously it's going to be a massive week next week in the Premier League. It's massive now. Also under a lot of pressure, guys. Sporting away on Tuesday. Last season, we went to Sporting, beat them 5-1. But they had a really impressive comeback against Bodo Glimt. They lost that first leg 3-0. And then they had an almighty comeback and, you know, knocked Bodo out. So it's Sporting, again, deemed a favourable draw. But it's a big game now. Big game. They've been playing well at home, Sporting. I think they're second in their league. Massive, massive game.
Have they got a big game at the weekend? Have they? Like they're going to rest players, are they?
I don't even know if they played. Did they play this weekend?
Yeah, they won 4-2. Yeah, they won at home.
Right.
Guess what I'm going for, boys?
Yeah, surely not this week.
2-0 Sporting.
Well, I wasn't even asking you for your... I wasn't even asking... Are you going 2-0 Sporting?
Hey, lock that in. Lock that in. He said
Lock that in.
Yeah.
Are you going 2-0
That
Sporting?
No.
Oh, he's changing his mind. Don't let him do it.
3-0.
How are you not feeling about this game?
Ah.
Curtis, hit me, man. Because you said it earlier. This game is not... It's big pressure now.
If I was you boys, I'd get to Lisbon early. You know what I mean? Go to the restaurant, put up your usual pictures with the food and the drink. Just enjoy yourself before the actual game.
I agree.
Listen, for me, boys, I'll be honest with you. If we get out of there with a draw, thank you very much. Yeah, I'll be real with you because the way we've played in the last two games, that game looks totally different. Like, they're scoring goals. They're free-flowing. We got a massive game at the weekend. I think we beat them in the second leg at home, to be honest. But I take a draw, and that is very pessimistic. But I just not... Football, you can't turn form on and off. You can't go and embarrass in a cup final and then lose to Southampton and just look like world beaters all of a sudden. It might take us a few games to get our flow back. You got to hope that Rice, Timber, all of them come back and lift the group and we get it together. But it's a tough game. You know, when we got the draw, we go, yeah, Sporting, yeah, man, we're in the semi-final, Barca or Atletico. You got some work to do, man. You know, they slapped up Bodo at home. So I think it's a tough game. If we get a win, it'll be a great result. But if you offer me a draw now, I would take it. I'll be honest.
I think we're bounced back, but I ain't in this. I'm not in this camp where, and I've heard people saying it like, we beat Sporting, and we all forget about the weekend. That I am not forgetting about that weekend. This weekend is going to be like, well, we'll see. The only thing I'll forget about this weekend and forgive is if we win both competitions. If we don't win both competitions, I'm not going to forgive this. I'll tell you that now. You know what I mean? I think we're in a position like before we went in that cup final where I did secretly think we'd win 2 trophies. Yeah. Right, one of them being the FA Cup or the Elite Cup. That ain't happening now. I never ever thought we'd win the Champions League. I don't think we're good enough. So look, listen, I don't care. I don't care. I'm just going to go there, like as you say, like try and enjoy it. Like, you know, I'm not enjoying watching Arsenal at the moment. If I'll be really honest, I'm not enjoying the football. I'm not enjoying the way we're playing. I'm not enjoying the way it's panning out. And you know, there's nothing to excite me about the Arsenal at the moment. I'm going to be really honest. When have you seen an exciting game? You know, Champions League. So like, let's see, you know. But now the pressure goes up a little bit, doesn't it? Because it's a quarter final. I'm just going to sit back. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Rob. I'm going to sit back and see if your man can do it. The man can do the pressure. Can he get us through to under a bit of pressure? Can your man do it? This is what I'm going to say. Robbie,
my man,
Robbie's man.
Here comes Robbie's man.
Here
comes Robbie's man.
My man, the flip flop Lee. Like, and then next week, if he does do well, you're saying, yeah, knight him. You know what I mean? Give him a knighthood and stuff like that.
Listen, I praise when he does well, and I criticise when he don't. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you're being serious to me. So if we win the league this season, you're still not going to be happy because of what happened in the FA Cup. That's what you're telling me.
I said I wouldn't forgive. There's a difference.
You're not going to forgive.
I'm going to be really honest with you, Rob. I'll be really honest with you. You know, when we won the Invincibles, I was always a little bit peeved off with Arsene Wenger, right? Because he played a scratch team in the FA Cup semi-final, losing to Man United. And then, like, all because, again, like you, see in your head, all worried about the Champions League against Chelsea, wasn't he? Right? And what happened? We went out against Chelsea as well. So we ended up with one trophy when that team, by the way, should have won more than one trophy that season.
I agree with you, but you was unhappy that season, though.
I didn't say that.
There's no point in it. Like,
what did I say? Like, you're looking for
pick
trouble.
Another sport.
I just turned around and said I was a little bit underwhelmed. I felt we should have won more. I do. I do think that.
I felt that team was good enough to win more, but I was very happy with winning the league. I loved being at the parade. It was an amazing time.
Not once did you turn around. Once
I still talk about
said, we should have, with this team. We could have and should have won another trophy. You never said that once. You said at that time. You said it's all about the league. I'm happy. There was not once through that parade you said, "God, hold on. If we'd have beaten Chelsea, we'd have beaten Monaco, and we'd have beaten." There's no little tinge of regret. You just.
No. I just said that. I just said that. I think we could have won the Champions League that year. We went out.
There you
go.
We should have won.
Right, but I was still happy with our season. We won the league. We went invincible. It was an amazing season.
But I think that if we win the league, I'm going to stand in that parade. Right, I'm going to stand next to you, Lyle. Right, and I'm going to turn around and go, "Fantastic, we won this." But I think we could have had another one as well. That's all I'm going to say. That doesn't mean to say I'm not going to be negative and unhappy. I just think we could have done a little bit better and got 2 this year.
This guy's a miserable man. Listen, my thing is...
Curtis, come on, stick up for me, man.
Lee, I agree with you. I agree with you. We should have won another one.
I want the league this season, right? If Arsenal finish this season winning the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, I don't think I'd be that happy. I want the league.
No, but what if you won one with the league?
The main
one of them with the league would have been fantastic.
And I've been saying this for a long time. I've been saying this for a long time. That for me, I can't speak for other people. For me, I want to win the league. That's the main one I want. I want to win the league, right? And Arsenal can win this league, and they've got to go out now and win this league.
So I
do think if we get our act together, we got a great chance in the Champions League as well. But I think the position we're in the league, go and win that.
Rob, do you really look at us at the moment and think we've got a great chance in the Champions League, man? I just don't.
Listen. I'm not saying we're going to win the Champions League. I'm saying we've got a chance. We've got Sporting. We're supposed to beat Sporting over 2 legs. You've got Barcelona in a semi-final, right? Why can't we beat a Barcelona? It won't be easy, but why can't we beat a Barcelona if we get our act together on the day? A lot of things have got to go for us. Players have got to be fit. Players have got to be performing. And then you're in a final, and then anything can happen, right? Am I saying we're the best team? I still think probably Bayern are the best team in the Champions League. I think it's Bayern and PSG on that side are probably the best. But it's things can happen. Didn't we just go out to Southampton? So a lot of things can happen. But for me, the position we're in the league, if we don't win it from now, be a disaster.
I don't know. Madueke might save us. New camp, hat-trick. Show Lamine Yamal who the real winger is. Who knows? But I don't know. Lee, you can't be crying at the parade if we only win the Premier League. I just wanted to put that out there. I won't even know what day it is if we win that league and I'm at the Premier and I'm at the parade. So don't worry.
It's all right.
We'll be good, mate. Cheer up.
Jack, don't worry, man. We win it every year, innit? It's nothing.
Oh, mate, it's the fact he said we're sat here moaning about Madueke for an hour while talking about Southampton Cup. So this guy's worried about the Invincibles not winning a double 20 years ago. Come on, Lee. We gotta have some positivity.
I think sometimes you can have that sort of mindset though, that like, listen, if we win the league, we're all gonna be, at the parade and celebrating. But sometimes in sport, it just falls, don't it? That like it just opens up and you can go and win 2 or 3 trophies in one season. It don't happen often, but we were sat here 2 weeks ago going, well, we're in a final. We're in a quarter-final against a championship team, Sporting Lisbon, and we're top of the Prem. You would think maybe you can get out of there with 2 trophies. So I get his point.
What was the best season for you? The Invincibles, right? Or winning the double in 2002?
No, the double for me.
Double for me as well.
I think.
Yeah, the double.
I think the Invincibles was a magical season, man, because we had we were so good. So
good in 2002. Never lost the game away from home, and I just felt like I look back on that season and I was satisfied. I know that's the wrong thing to say. I was satisfied when we won the league, but at the end of the day, when we won to win 2, I know it's being greedy, but when you're that good, should you win more than just 1? That's all I'm saying. I don't think this team's good enough to win 2 or 3 now. I'll be honest. I think I'll be happy with the 1. But I look back at the Invincibles. That should have won more trophies that season. I think the 2002, I think we've done what we was expected to do. This season, I don't think we're good enough to win 2 trophies. The manager's not good enough, hasn't got the mentality for it, and the players haven't, you know what I mean? So, look, listen, I'll be grateful for 1. I hear what you're saying on that. That's what I'm saying, Jack, you know what I mean? Like, I felt in the Invincible 2004, you know what I mean? We went to the game against Man United, semi-final, you know what I mean? Alex Ferguson tops up with his full team, and we played like Henry was on the bench, Bergkamp weren't even there. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. End up losing 1-0. We then go and lose to Chelsea, like 3 days later. Boom, boom, out of 2 trophies already. And then if it weren't for Thierry Henry against Liverpool, that was a meltdown day and all. Do you remember that, Rob? We was 2-1 down at half time, and Henry...
Henry done the magic run.
And do you know what? I don't think we've got anybody in the team other than Dowman that could do that. That's the worry. That is the worry.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a wait and see what we do, innit? And we have to revisit this at the end of the season. You know what I mean? If, it's about this team now putting the last couple of results behind them and bouncing back. It's about, because you know what? A few weeks ago, I was watching that Man City game yesterday, and the commentator said, "Oh, looks like they're peaking at the right time." And I don't normally agree with Steve McManaman, but he said a true thing. He goes, "Well, actually, no," because he goes, "They've just been knocked out of the Champions League, and maybe they should have peaked before that because they drew 2 games in the league that was put them 9 points behind Arsenal. Do they still have a chance? Yeah, but." They should have done this a few weeks before. So it's about Arsenal now, right? Doing the same thing. I think we need to get, as I said, some of those injured players back. The importance of players like Timber and that we can see, right? So we need to get some of those players and really go for this back end of the season. Go and win that league first and foremost. Stay in the Champions League and see what we can do. But it can still all end good. It's on those players now. It's on the manager. But it can still all end good. If I personally, if we go and win that league, I will not remember this day as I'm remembering it right now. It won't be, it might be something we reflect on when I'm half pissed. you know, right, celebrating the league. But right now, the priority is the league. That is the priority. I don't want to hear these fans singing to me second again, LA, LA. It's been 3 years in a row. We're in a great position still. We've got games in front of us that are winnable games, that are doable games. We have got to go and win this league. That is the assignment now. There are no excuses now. There are no excuses about too many games because, you know, I think this team should be able to cope with what's in front of them, which is Champions League game midweek. And then there's even going to be some weeks when City are going to have like a sort of fixture sort of mess up in it, because that weekend now when they've got the semi-final, we'll be playing. Another chance to push an advantage. So got to go and win this league now. Got to go and win. And and also, as I said, I want to see a reaction in that Sporting game as well. I know you're right, it's not an easy game, but I want to see a reaction. Go out there and show us that this team's back on track. I think it's important that we go and put in a good display in that game ahead of that. But when you say, Lee, you don't care about that game, it's all in Bournemouth, I think you go and get a really negative, poor performance against Sporting that impacts that Bournemouth game. It's about momentum now. We need momentum. We need to go and go over to Sporting and put in a good performance. A draw is not a terrible result. You are right. But go in and put in a performance against Sporting. Get the momentum back, because the momentum's been halted. This is why we're in such a negative place right now, because the momentum has been... I mean, this is the first time this season we've lost back-to-back games. And then all of a sudden now we're all like, oh my God, are we starting to crumble now? Is this the beginning of the demise? Or have we lost the, you know? So go and put it right. And I think it's going to be for the main guys to do it. Because from what I've seen of some of the other guys over the last couple of games, I can't rely on them. They can do a job when they come in and, you know, individually, half hour here, whatever, but I can't rely on them for 90 minutes. So I need these main guys now. Reyes, Timbers, Saliba, Gabriel. He said Nkapé is going to be out. Calafiori. All these guys got to step up now. Saka. Business end of the season. We need to see you now, Saka. By your standards, it's been a very average season. I need to see Saka, the end of this season, step up. Just like Victor Gyökeres stepped up for Sweden over the last couple of games and got them to the World Cup final. Need to step up for Arsenal, fire us in those goals. And it's all about momentum. Look at the momentum he carried through from those performances to... Look how more confident he looked when he came on the pitch yesterday. So it's all about momentum now. All about momentum. And I want to see a performance against Sporting. I do care about that game. And I don't want him to just go to that game. I care big time about that game. Big time. I want to see a big performance in that game. I don't know about you guys, but I do.
See what happens.
You can't be bothered. You other guys don't want to see maybe I'm on my own.
Hey,
I need a response.
It's no good having a great performance against Sporting and then like not producing the semi-final, isn't it? Like that's what worries me about Arsenal. I'd rather go out now, Rob. No, less games. Less games.
I want to try like from now. You got to try and win both competitions. We rested players. Right, and probably because of this, the priority.
That's why he's got to go and win it. Then, priority was this. I'll agree with you. He's got to go and win it.
So I want to see a performance. You're carrying like you can't be bothered.
No,
you just said you're going to go over there. You can't be asked, whatever. So I
am bothered. No, I just said I'm going to agree with Curtis. I'm going to go over there and enjoy the company and enjoy myself. And then when Arteta gets involved, fuck it up. You know what I mean? That's simple as that.
Okay.
Oh, you won't. Robbie, you'll be present, and I'll enjoy your company. And then when the team gets involved,
you're such a flip flop. You're such a flip flop. The only one I'll give a thing is Curtis because he's stuck. But you were laughing the other day. Remember this caption? Remember when this was going up? Right, you were there laughing and joking. Remember that? Laughing and joking on that. And it was, yeah, ha, 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 yeah, Curtis.
Yeah, you better edit that picture, I'm telling you.
Now, you see,
Hey,
that's
we
what I'm
lost
saying
it,
with this
it's
guy,
still
man. Flip-flopping all over the place, right?
Listen, I'll be honest, Rob. I had a fantastic day at Wembley. I had a really good day until Mikel turned up. He does ruin a few. He's a party pooper. He has ruined a few of my days. I ain't lying. You know what I mean?
It's ruined a few of my days as well, but I want to go. I want to perform. I'm not just going to Sporting for the trip. I want to see a performance. I'm sorry. The trip was yesterday. I want to see a performance.
What a trip to Southampton.
What, Southampton in the wind?
Yeah, well, that has to be the
that
trip.
was a fantastic trip, that was.
Yeah, that was a horrible trip, and I don't want another one. I don't want another one. I don't want another horrible trip. I want to see, you know what I mean? And this is going back on this game, right? This is a difficult game, and we've been to that stadium before. It's a great atmosphere in there. They'll be really up for it after what happened against Bodo. They looked at Arsenal's last couple of results and feel that they can get the job done. They're going to be pumped. Obviously, Gyökeres is going back there. I want to see a performance from Arsenal. Don't worry about the Bournemouth game. I want to see a performance in that. Then after that, then deal with Bournemouth. Stop looking ahead at games. That's what we did yesterday. Deal with the game that's in front of you. That's what I want to see. Why shouldn't we be aiming to try and win the Champions League? Why shouldn't we? What, just give up on that now? Is that what you're saying, Lee?
No, well, I see us give up on one yesterday. So let's see.
Do you want to give up on the Champions League? Just say yes or no from now.
Of course not. I didn't want to give up on the FA Cup like you did.
I never said once I wanted to give up. I started off the show slagging off those players because of their attitude towards the FA Cup.
You said on the way home yesterday, if we win against Sporting, all will be forgiven.
No, I didn't say that. I said if we win the league, all will be forgiven for that. I want to win the league. That's my priority. But also, I want Arsenal to try and win the Champions League.
Yeah.
I don't want to just be in it.
I want us to win the Champions League. Of course I want us to win the Champions League, you know what I mean? But after what I see yesterday, you know what I mean? I don't think we will. I don't think we've got the mentality for it. That's what I think. That's what I think. I might be proved wrong. Let's hope I'm proved wrong. Like, you know what I mean? That these players go and prove us all wrong. Like, and mentally they can get over the line. Like, but I see things yesterday that worry me. I've got to say that. Like, you know what I mean? And hopefully against Sporting, they produce a good performance.
Okay, let's get your prediction for that Sporting game. Your top.
I think you've convinced me that Arsenal are going to come back and bounce out. Sporting 1, Arsenal 2. Jesus, both goals. Boom, 2 headers.
Jesus won't even be playing.
No.
I hope he's not.
2-1. I'm going for it.
This guy said 2-0 Sporting. He's changed his mind. Should be dot points.
No, because Robbie's, you know...
No, you stick with what you don't go off on me, mate.
Yeah.
Then you want to blame me like Arteta. You know what I mean? It's always everyone else's fault. So you go with what you think. You go with what you feel.
I'm going with what I said, Arsenal. I'm backing Arsenal. I always back Arsenal, and that's why it hurts me, because I probably put them on a bit too much of a pedestal. There you go, like, you know. 2-1, the Arsenal.
You know what? Gonna have to bring the tactics board out, because I have no idea. I think we could lose this or win it 5-6-0. It depends what Arsenal show up. So I'm just gonna have to play it safe. 2-1 Arsenal.
This is a tough one. Because
you gone 2-1 and all, Jack?
Who's going to...
Yeah, I just got to play it safe with you.
You watch Robbie's going to go 3-1 Sporting.
After all that.
I was actually going to go 2-1, but... Do you know what? I'm going to go... Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 as well. 2-1.
Gosh, everyone's going for the same score.
You could catch up with this then. A lot of thinking going on there.
I don't know.
Come on, Rob, it's Mikel. You know what I mean?
But you've all gone for him to win. You've all gone for him.
Yeah, just about.
I could see a draw in this game.
Oh, I don't believe it.
way.
I don't
No
believe
way.
it.
You
Hey,
can't do that. You
come
can't do
on.
that. You can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't.
If,
After that episode.
I can. I reckon 1-1.
It's over
Rob.
2 legs, mate.
I was going to go 1-1.
We drew against Leverkusen.
Go on then, Rob. You go for the
Go
draw.
on, do
Go on.
it.
You know, all that you've given us, you
Come on, Rob.
inspired
1-1.
us all to go for a win.
3-2.
Oh.
What, to Arsenal, yeah?
3-1. Sorry, no. 3. Nah.
Oh,
What's going on here, boys?
Go
Yeah,
on.
you know what? You know what? I'm going 2-0. 2-0 Arsenal.
He's made 5
All of that.
predictions.
2-0 Arsenal.
2-0.
Go with Lee's prediction that he always goes with. 2-0 Arsenal. Yeah?
Oh. I can't
Wait,
believe
what
you're about to
happened
say
with
a
last
draw.
month? Who won out of me and
I
Lee?
won.
Oh, you both
I didn't see
fumbled.
that.
I think you none of you yet have I think it's undecided, isn't it? Because you got the Jamaica result wrong. You got both of those results wrong, so it still has to be decided. So I don't know, maybe. But both of you give us a first goal scorer for Arsenal, and whoever wins that gets it. Say.
Go on, Coach. I'll let you go first.
Let's just go for Gyökeres. Why not, against his old club? Were you going to go for him, Lee, or was you going to go?
I'm going to go for the main man. Go on, Bakari. Oh, because he'd be on penalties as well.
All right, there you go then. First goal scorer.
All right. Let's get into. We got comments of the day.
Oh,
Yes.
See, look at this. Look, I wasn't even on the show, but I've got the comment, right? So, this from Yusuf, who said, Lee today reminded me of the classic. There you go, you see.
The trigger one.
Because we all like Only Fools and Horses, right? Man turned up with his medal around his neck.
Read it out, Curtis. I thought that one was brilliant. I went for the same one.
Lee reminded me of the classic trigger in Only Fools and Horses when he felt so proud of winning a medal.
That one killed me, man, because I remember the episode.
Good penalty, though. I like the penalty, man. Nice and composed, opened up his body.
Did you see how short the goalkeeper was, though?
Yes.
As I have to keep reminding you. The goalkeeper was about 5 foot tall.
no, he weren't. He was always looking to dig in the old Rob, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
What you got then, Lee?
I've got trying to find it, like, you know what I mean?
No, he's just looking for it now.
I got it, like, you know, because there was a for the wind up thing, like, you know what I mean, like, he's definitely losing it, Robbie. He's definitely losing it, like, you know what I mean. So the big up to Robbie for not losing his cool with the production team at the start. Laugh at. Just imagine if it was Lee, he'd have done it. I would have probably lost my rag, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So,
like yesterday. You know what I mean? I've had a HR report in this morning from Cecil. You know what I mean? Saying that, you know what I mean? Like, that your unprovoked attack on him. You know what I mean? He's a guy just asking you. You done that to me last year.
I know exactly what you're doing. Like, he done it to me at Wall. He done it
to me last year. What game was that again? What game was that, Lee? When you attacked me as well.
That's when he was talking about Lewis Skelly can play in midfield, didn't it? I remember it.
PSG.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
You know what? I had about 5 minutes. I'm trying to just keep calling all that, and I he's got that little thing in his face, old Cecil. Right, I'm going to wind him up. He's just, and he didn't really have to say a lot. He knew it. Like, I have.
He didn't even wind you up. He just asked you a normal question.
Yeah, but
next interview, you're gonna have like a security guard just standing next to you.
No, guys, listen, Curtis, you just reminded me of the funniest thing yesterday, right? I don't even know if you might see it in the video. I haven't even looked back at Lee's video yesterday, right? So when he was having a go at Cecil and that and shouting at him and all that, right? I don't know.
The police.
There's about 4 police who come running round and they're thinking, what's going on? And the next thing is just an interview going on.
They all look like they don't know where to just walk off. Like.
And then they're just like, oh, okay. And they just walk. They come round because of him.
Yeah, they were going to nick
Boys
him.
are kicking off.
Do you know the thing? Do you know the thing with his interviews that are so funny, right? He'll have like a 5-second period where he's being really polite to him, and then he just starts going.
Every time.
Don't you wind me up, Cecil.
The worst thing about those interviews are they straight after the game when you're just not, you know what I mean? You're just not.
Yeah.
You're not rational. I'm not rational after games. I ain't. I can't admit it. Like, yeah, I'm not rational. I've calmed down a bit now, and I can have a lot. But that, do you know what you said today, Rob? You weren't bothered about it. I am. Once again, that I sort of. I'm like that straight after the game, and then I've mellowed down afterwards. But like you're the other way, aren't you? Like you think that I wish I was
sort of
like
more
that.
mellow after the game. Like I was angry, but I was kind of like, okay. But when I woke up this morning, I'm like, those men really let me go all the way to Southampton to do that. Because I listen, if you go out on your shield, fair enough, right? But I'm like, what was that? Half-hearted, man, them just jogging. I'm like, nah, man. I wish I'd have stayed at home. I really felt like that. I wish I'd have stayed. It was Easter. I wish I'd have stayed at home. Rubbish. Anyway, Jack, you got your comment?
Yeah, I do. I want to say big up as well to the guy who stopped me at the airport last night. I didn't think it would happen, but I was in Tenerife getting stopped in the airport. So for me, guys, thank you for the support.
Immigration.
That is a bit mad. yeah, he pretended he was a fan. No, it was actually a young guy. I think he's about 16, 17. He was saying he watches all the shows and stuff. So
Nice.
Big him up. It was really nice to meet him. But I actually have a message here, which is actually a nice comment for you, Robbie, saying Robbie is a decent boss. You can tell. And I think that was referring to mine and Curtis's little break. So yeah, big up Robbie. Big up Dan and Kenya as well for stepping in on the last episode. I did tune into some of it. I saw Kenya's prediction for me. Unfortunately, she got it wrong. But hey, thank you guys. And yeah, we're back now. We're back.
All right, guys. Well, listen, we've reached the end of the show today. It's been a long one today. I think we've had a lot to get off of our chest, right? Don't forget, as we said, William Hill, final one standing. I'll give you my pick on Thursday, so you'll be able to find out who I've gone for on Thursday. We'll be back. Well, actually, probably Wednesday or Thursday of next week. We'll be, of course, looking back at what happened in the sporting game and looking ahead to that huge game against Bournemouth at the weekend. Just before we go, got to big up the guys, big up to Curtis, big up to Jack, and to Lee, even though he's given up and, he's... Ryan, that's brilliant, man. Waving the white flag, done. You know what I mean? Season's over. It's all finished. We're all...
I bet Curtis is loving this one, isn't he? Like,
Oh, finally, it's not me. Any chance of him doing one of Robbie?
But listen, as we know, the season's not over. We got a lot to play for still. Let's hope we can get at least one of these trophies in the bag, man, especially the league. Big game coming up. Big games now, guys. Big cup finals from now till the end of the season. Can we handle the pressure? That's what we're going to find out. But once again, thanks, guys, and happy Easter to you all. Happy Easter to everyone watching as well. Thanks very much.